So let's get started with our first project. It's going to be the 2015 Yamaha 450. We're going to work on the power delivery and the chassis, and we are going to bring you one of the best Yamaha 450s that there is. We've arrived here at Bazzaz. It's in Chino, which is very close to the San Bernardino Chaparral shop. And we are going to go through some of the products that we are going to install on the YZ450. Here is Dale. He's going to explain the products and how they're going to be installed on the motorcycle.
Thanks, Larry. I'm Dale from Bazzaz, and right here is our base field control unit for the YZ450. What we supply you with in our base field control unit is a fuel harness, USB, zip ties, a control unit, bracket, and Velcro to secure your control unit. With this is a piggyback fuel system, so there's no cutting or splicing in the harness. It's a simple plug-and-play system that you could do yourself right at home in your garage.
And Dale, I want you to explain the self-mapping unit. I think it's the most interesting unit to me.
Okay. Yeah, Larry. This is our self-mapping kit, and this allows for you as the end user to map the bike for as many different target airfare ratios for as many different locations as you like. So from track to track, it allows you as the rider to make the changes. This is very similar to a data logger. So as you ride, it's going to collect data while you're out on the track for each session. Now when you come in, you could hit stop and then click retrieve, and at that time it retrieves all the data that you logged throughout your session. Now you could go over it and go ahead and apply all the changes, and at this point you basically just map the bike for the riding style that you have, the climate, the conditions of the track, the race gas that you're using. And in run, by the end of the weekend, you have a full built map for that track.
And we have one last product that I want Dale to talk about and explain.
Yeah, Larry, this is our map select switch. And this allows you as the end user to go from map 1 to map 2 on the fly as you're riding. So depending on if you have a race gas to pump gas map, maybe a zero map, which is the stock ECU versus our map, so you could see the true difference that our product makes while you're mapping and or just as a bolt-on product.
So there's one last thing I'd like Dale to talk about. It's the installation of the O2 sensor into the head pipe.
Yeah, Larry, so this is a wideband O2 sensor. Most dirt bikes, pretty much all dirt bikes, don't have a O2 bung installed on the head pipe. So you will need to have a larger bung installed on the head pipe in order to use our ZAFM product.
So we're going to have Dale from Bazzaz do the install of the fuel controller, the ZFI. First he's going to remove the seat, then he's going to remove the radiator shrouds. You have to pull the bolts out to get to the radiator shroud and then pull it off the tank and then disconnect that rubber grommet. Then you need to remove the gas tank. Next we're going to pull the airbox off, and Dale pulls the two 8mm head bolts off the bottom. Then he's going to remove or loosen the clamp that clamps the air boot to the throttle body, and then take the bolt out just under the head stay to remove the airbox. Now he's installing the fuel controller, and we found the best place to mount that is just inside of the head stay. You can use some of the threads and use the housing, slip it over the threads, and then just put a nut on it. And then we're going to connect our wiring harness to the fuel controller. Next, we're going to click together this piggyback wiring system. It runs between the fuel controller and the fuel injector and the fuel controller. It's a lot of fuels, but it's not as confusing once you start putting it together. You'll get it down. Now we will need to connect our other electrical system, and it's going to be right below the standard connectors, the OW connectors. Now this is the connectors for the Bazzaz wiring harness, and again it's just the connector is actually just a piggyback system that runs in between the two systems. Now we're going to need to zip tie it in place. The trusty old zip ties obviously come into play, and They're very needed when you're doing electrical. But this fits up really nicely right here. That's it. So we'll conclude the day with letting you guys know that we ran the motorcycle on the dyno after we got the fuel controller installed on the bike, and we mapped it better than what it was mapped in standard form with the Bazzaz system. But we need to just keep moving forward. We're gonna add more pieces onto this project, onto this YZ450, and really, you know, we're not gonna stop here. We're gonna continue to build this bike and build one of the best 450s that there is out there. So anyway, why don't you check back with us soon, and we will continue in the next episode of the next piece that we're gonna add to this project. And we're just going to keep building this bike until we're happy with it. Don't forget, there are 3 ways that you can order here at Chaparral. You can call our 800 number, which is 800-841-2960. Go to our website, chapmoto.com, or just come on into our store and you'll be able to order whatever you need.